Yeah, I've
All
heard
right,
loads.
what's up, everybody? We got Distance Left in the house today in the building. Everybody, give it up. Round of applause for Distance Left. Thank you for being here today, bro. Appreciate you. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. It's good to be here. Thank you very much for letting me on. It's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure for years interacting with you
Yeah,
and piecing together what I achieved and then had to learn about what I'd achieved and the wrong way I did it over the years.
yeah.
Yeah.
You've been active on Twitter. This always sounds so bad the way I say it, but you've been so active in my mentions for such a long time. Like I just remember
Yeah,
seeing
yeah.
you
I
consistently interacting.
I learned a long time ago. I mean, just to I'm approaching my 40s. I've been a musician in some capacity since I was about six.
Okay.
So I don't know what the equivalent in the US system is, but we call it primary school,
Yep.
uh, like junior grade or something, the one before middle school, anyway.
Elementary. Yeah.
Started
Yeah. For us.
elementary school, right? That makes sense. I don't know the US education system that well.
It's just different words.
It's different words for the same thing, isn't it? A la the Death Cab for Cutie line, yeah. So I got a recorder placed in my hands. I sucked at recorder. I got quite some way with the flute. I got to playing a bit of gentle Debussy and reading sheet relatively well.
Okay.
There were issues with the teacher which I cannot go into on something that is going to be made public because of YouTube rules and other things, and also lawsuits.
Hmm.
Suffice it to say, her husband was dodgy,
Yeah.
and she probably knew, but no one ever. There was lots of yeah. But I did progress quite well in the flute, but I found that woodwinds weren't for me. I tried a little bit of piano at that kind of age, but I have small girly hands, um, like which is weird because I could deal with a full size classical, and one of those was put in my hand.
You have
Yeah, right.
smaller hands, bro.
Yeah, I know it's the small hands thing, right? But yeah, I can get my way around a five-string bass if I want to. I don't get how that works or doesn't work, but there you go. So I was very, very thankful to my first year teacher.
Hmm.
She recognized that I was clearly musically capable, but was just given the wrong instrument.
Yeah.
So my dad was a trainee teacher at my primary school, which was kind of interesting because he had to play the game of I can't be a favorite towards my son. I got a guitar, I believe a high-end classical, possibly even a Ramirez, at least
Wow.
a low-end Ramirez, yeah, put in
Nice.
my hands and was given tuition and thought, I did a couple of recitals before I left school. So that was what I did musically from 9 to about 11.
Hmm.
I didn't do a great deal with it after that. And then come 14, 15, I thought, I want to get back into this. My dad stumped up for, and I'll get it a second. He stumped up for this electric, which I've covered in stickers over the years.
That's sick. Yeah.
Yeah, it's became my kind of punk guitar. Uh,
Telecaster?
no, it's Diamond by Guild, Indonesia factory. It's their
Okay.
equivalent. It's Guild London's equivalent of Squire.
Oh, okay, okay,
Basically,
okay.
it's their cheap, and it's double hum. It's now got two humbuckers.
Yeah.
Someone at some point took apart a 1960s Les Paul,
Yeah.
and the guy who I was friends with had the pickups and put them in for me before I knew how to do that. So
So
that
those are
guitar,
Les Paul pickups.
yeah, it sounds amazing, but yet it's made of chipboard.
We're learning that the humbuckers are very important. The wood is important too. I don't want to make any
Oh
of it.
yeah, no, I love
I've
the
played
tech.
guitar for 20 years, guys. So, but
Yeah,
the hardware, you switch out a few pieces, you got a great
a
sounding
whole different
guitar.
instrument. Yeah, it's very, very. So I then took up tutelage under a really brilliant jazz bassist and guitarist
Hmm.
who for grades, which I failed completely. I have failed every formal exam in music ever. I never went to uni or college for music. I
Hmm.
just did it on the side. I got into a mining college in the place where I grew up. It was the biggest thing going. And then they combined a university and another university. And I found that I wasn't getting on there well. So I switched over to evolutionary biology, which I liked enough to not drop out because I'm one of those people that was probably going to drop out and just play guitar and then work in a supermarket forever. Uh,
Yeah,
that
we don't want that. That's not the goal.
that's not the goal. I have had a job since I was 16 in some capacity to support this. I've recently come away from a career job for this. I may or may not have to return to the world of day jobs, but for now I'm stable on savings and family, so I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
And because I live, I mean, we have better welfare here, so if things go really wrong, I'm safe.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Fast forward a few years, I'm at uni. I'm playing open mic nights, but I don't sing much. It's going well. I'm getting on with people. I end up in a little punk band with a friend of mine who I'm still somewhat in touch with through Facebook. That's just drunken fun. I end up in the musicals band, which is basically playing jazz standards, which is much more serious musically. A little jam band with a friend of mine who's building a studio in Delhi,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. So I have an open invite to disappear off to India whenever I want to, and that's done, which is kind
Yeah.
of cool. When they go to
Yeah.
India and find themselves.
Yeah.
So that's the way things sit now. So I just basically kept going. Um, I maintained contact with someone I met at a performance that me and my dad met in the bar. I chatted her up a bit. She was one of the clarinetists of the orchestra that was playing. And we just kept in touch over the years. And sadly, after I graduated, my mum became incredibly ill with smoking related illnesses because she was a smoker.
Okay.
So she passed 9 years ago. So it's an old wound. It's not a thing I'm currently dealing with. So it's not great to not have your mum, but it's also not like yesterday. So I'm not sitting here in a pit of misery going, "Oh, my mum," you know.
Mhm.
So I cared for her for 3 years, up until the point where it nearly broke me. Well, it did break me. I'm not going to pretend otherwise. And her, even to the point when her ex-husband phoned me and said, "You have to stop this. You have to stop." And I kind of woke up a bit after that. And then my dad intervened, and you know,
Mm.
and, we can't have you doing this. Like he was working in London, and I was estranged from him a bit at the time.
Okay.
Um, yeah, we're very good now. But
Yeah.
he lives up the road. So this woman, she knew what my situation was because we sort of did email pen paling because that was
Yeah.
the thing at the time. And we then found each other on social media, and it's quicker to DM than it was to email. The world has
Okay.
moved on, and so she flew me out to Florida just for a couple of weeks of holiday, which was amazing. We
Yeah.
fell for each other. We married. It went horribly wrong. It
Oh no.
was no word of a lie, six of one and half a dozen of the other, as the phrase goes.
Yeah.
I was a mess. She was a mess. The
Mm.
situation was more money, more problems.
Mm.
It, we on paper looked incredible, but we were still very vulnerable to all the like. I mean, I learned very quickly that despite the fact that we had access to a patron with a great amount of wealth, even though we had good insurance,
Yeah.
we break our legs, we lose our house. And that's alien to me as a British person. But
Yeah.
I broke both my wrists in secondary school,
Oh
in
wow.
middle, and you just get shipped off to a hospital, and the taxes are already paid for your injury. You know, it's not that. I mean, I don't mean it derogatorily of your country, but I view America a bit like a pay-as-you-go country. Like everything's a bill, but you kind of expect that. And I had to get used to that very quickly.
Yeah.
I wasn't prepared for how foreign a country was when I could basically talk to everyone. Except lots of people seem to think I was from New Zealand, which was strange.
Good. Hmm.
Yeah, because from my accent, I'm like, no, I don't sound anything like a Kiwi.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? So I lived for a couple of years in Florida.
Okay.
Um, I was a Floridian, so you get,
Already. Yeah.
yeah, I was a Floridian. Like, saw all kinds of bonkers things about alligators, man. There was, all the weather and all. Me and my wife used to sit indoors or sit out by the pool with one of those little shields, one of the Faraday cage things around it.
Yeah.
And go, we shouldn't get in the water, but it's kind of thrilling to do so. And bits of it were really fun. I mean, we had a muscle car, and all that sort of stuff. There was all that fast
No
cars.
life.
Yeah, I love, 3 bedroom car, 3 bedroom house, pool, muscle car. Didn't
Oh.
have to get up out of bed for work in the morning. It's ridiculous. Which makes the fall from grace even funnier because I slapped back into the UK when
Yeah.
things collapsed, phoning my dad from a payphone at Heathrow Airport, going, "I think my marriage has just collapsed, Dad." Then,
I've been there twice. You know that, bro. Yeah.
yeah, I know. I wasn't going to bring up your business, man, but I do
Oh,
know because you have made
it's,
it public.
it's
Yeah,
testimony. It's God now. I'm gonna give it to God.
yeah. Well, you're exactly. I mean, you got to leave it. So there was all kinds. I mean, this tattoo is from there.
Hmm.
From
Hmm.
a New York tattoo in Cape Coral. So I want
It's
more
real.
here and here
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
The
So
healing
yeah,
is good though. The healing, the
yeah. I
like
mean,
it's
obviously,
funny,
I
right?
was.
Now you can kind of have a bit of a laugh about it, right? It's like
Oh yeah, I can make all the jokes
perspective,
I
but
want. Yeah,
that comes in time.
Oh yeah, time is the healer of all and all that sort of thing.
Mm.
So I crashed back into the UK, and my dad was at that point looking after my mum. So there was a weekend where my mum died. The papers came through about my dissolution of my marriage, and my ex-wife was going nuts over the phone all the time, like a harassment calling basically. And then I lost my day job because I needed one at the time, and then I had a complete breakdown. And unbeknownst to me, I was on the wrong kind of medication for bipolar, which made it all
Mm.
worse. Which I mean, I live with dyslexia, possible autism, and bipolar one. So I have to be pretty careful when I go to bed, and I have to plan a night out
Mm.
like to the T. I have to bring my meds and take them at
Yeah,
the same
yeah.
time and all that sort of thing. I can do it, but if I go near alcohol, I have to be in, well, private company. There are a
Okay,
few people I can drink around, and
okay.
I watch out because not because I have like an alcohol problem,
Mm.
because if it interacts with my tablets, I'll just sit there in a chair and fall asleep and
Yeah,
become. And my friend's like, "Is this guy okay?" I'm like, "Well, no, he's not. He's drunk on top of antipsychotics. He's an idiot, you know." Yeah. So I mean, I can stop at like the one beer limit or the one pint limit, as we would say here, and then I have to just, or I can
got to
enjoy
be
the one.
careful. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and equally, and the longer I had to live like that, the longer I just became my normal. Like in my fridge, I have 0% beers. That's it. I keep a dry house.
yeah,
Done.
yeah. It's
My,
good.
my,
Yeah,
yeah, it's, I eat relative. I mean, I eat a bit too much, but I eat clean whole foods most of the time.
right.
I'll take myself to a pizza. I'm not going to lie about that one, but I've cut
I
out.
love pizza.
Yeah, pizza's good, man. I mean, I've traveled quite extensively. I went to Italy with my mom. I've been to Greece with my ex-wife. I've done Holland multiple times for multiple reasons, both the serious stuff like the Anne Frank and the
Yeah,
Rijksmuseum and that stuff. I mean, I enjoyed my time in Florida. Or the only thing I'm disappointed I didn't do when I was there was Cape Canaveral
yeah,
because it's cool. Yeah, I mean, I'm very Americanized
yeah.
in the way I think and
Florida.
speak. Yeah, it's very America. Yeah, it's. I mean, one of my long-term potential escape strategies if England just melts down is to go and live with friends in Texas and go from there. But I'd have to pack
Texas,
up like,
bro.
yeah, exit strategy. I mean, one of my, but then
Strategy.
10 grams worth of stuff in a crate and hope I've got the money to get it over there and do it. So that's, yeah. So that, I mean, so no, I succeeded by never stopping really, and being lucky enough.
Perseverance.
Yeah, endurance. That's it. It's life. It's the whole life as a marathon or a sprint thing. I started home recording when I was 19. A guy who I'm still friends with, who's like a surrogate uncle, he said, "Nah, dude, don't pay for studio time. I do that. It's a huge waste of money. Get your own kit and learn how to do it." So
I
I bought an Elise mixer and kind of went from there. Started out on Cubase and Audacity. I still
yeah,
use Audacity because it's really good for quick track cutting. If I load my sample, like the samples I generate,
yeah,
I'll, especially if they're field recordings from my phone or from my little Zoom toy,
yeah,
toy little recorder, I
yeah.
put
Yes. Sample it.
exactly. It's a keep it simple, stupid thing. I don't want to load them straight into a DAW. No, 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 no.
And
So
there's
yeah,
way.
I've developed my own workflow over the years. I have a professional collection of instruments ranging from a classical right through to like a 7-string electric, um, because I want all of those sounds at my fingertips. I recently got a mandolin, so I can do some mandolin work. I mean, I like the mandolin; it's a very interesting little instrument. I have a ukulele for my sister from another mister, who is effectively she's my non-blood sister. I'm an only child, so I have serious endurance for spending hours staring at something, doing it on my own with no interruption.
Yeah,
Despite I'm just lucky like that. And then all my
yeah.
friends are like, "We haven't seen you for a week. Are you okay?" "Oh, I'm fine. Would you like to see this song?" "Oh, he's good." And then sort of, "Oh, Simon's playing the music again." So yes, but my
You
friends are
never
quite happy with
stopped.
that. No, no. I remember before I got my last day job, that I've recently left, that I was volunteering to get some references to get myself into that job
Hmm.
in a charity shop. I think you call them thrift stores, but
Yeah.
it's a charity. all around UK Cancer Research, and there was a guy there who was a musician. He said, "Dan, dude, you never stop being a musician." I'm like, "Is he right?" And I have this habit of questioning, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, I haven't stopped playing the guitar. I haven't stopped mucking around. You know."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so yeah. Basically, I've just survived by persistence. My big break when I was in the States came from the fact that I was in contact with a group called the Black Knights, who are an old school hip hop outfit.
Okay.
And at the time, they were being produced by John Frusciante of the Chili Peppers on his hiatus from the band.
They
I
were
just,
being produced by John?
yeah. Like he just
I
decided
didn't
to.
know he did other production besides his own.
No, I didn't until I listened to this album and it came through. I think is it American Records that he records on with his solo material. I mean, I never got to
Right.
meet him when I was a hero of mine, which is a shame. But then he's a very private guy, so I don't want
Oh
to
yeah. He's
blow
had
the opportunity
troubles.
of a lifetime by sitting there going, "Hello, Mr. Shanty, how may I irritate you?" You know, like
You met him?
no. He's
Okay,
very.
okay.
But I did a little bit of stuff for them, like promoted them in my.
Gotcha. Okay. That's super cool. What
Yeah, that
okay.
was me. That was me starting to get somewhere, and then things started to melt down in my relationship, and my choice was disappear into America quasi legally, or go home where I'm not going to get murdered. Like or get into a situation where there's a physical fight and I get arrested because I'm the man in a country where there are guns.
Mm,
You know, which is a. I mean, I grew up in the country in rural England in Cornwall,
yeah.
which is the south. I'm used to there being weaponry, but I'm used to being owned by specific people for
Yeah.
hunting and dealing with wild animals.
Yeah.
Not, I mean, I don't know what your views are, and I don't want to get political at all. That's a whole can of worms, and
Guns are cool.
it's. But suffice to say, like to be fair to my ex-wife, she wasn't into guns in any way at all. So
Yeah.
she was a safe pair of hands in that regard, and she'd actually been in dodgy situations herself. So
Yeah.
I remember we were driving once in Miami, and I was just pooping around in the car, and I was about to turn right, and she grabbed the wheel out of my hand and sort of screamed no at me. I'm like, oh, because being an idiot, I thought, oh, have I done some traffic thing?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
turned left on a red like a,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
have I filtered into the wrong side of the road on the English autopilot mode? No, apparently I was turning onto the bit of South Beach where the police don't go because the weaponry is too hardcore.
Oh, so she was like, don't go down that spot.
Like the bit where all the serious, I think Haitian or Cuban
Yeah.
gang, not the nice Cubans who come and work, but the Cubans who've decided that screw this, we'll just buy automatic rifles, kind of people.
He was protecting. Yeah, I feel it. Okay. Okay.
Not the people you want to be around. Not that,
Yeah.
because we have really lovely Cuban friends. One of them was an IT guy, so me and him used to nerd out, and
Sure.
yeah.
Yes.
So I mean, aspects of my time in America were wonderful. It all kind of went wrong, and then I eventually ended up in the still like government flat, which is great. I
Yeah.
got a mental health thing. I got put on the right medication.
Oh
I
wow.
got help with the fact that I self-medicated, and that has. I occasionally, yeah, I drink a bit at Christmas, a bit on my birthday,
Yeah.
and share a beer with my dad. But I've stopped. I used to drink dangerous amounts regularly, especially when I DJ pubs and all the
Okay.
rest of it. Yeah, which is long ago stopped
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And I don't miss it either, really.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. The next
also
day is always rough.
thing of youth as well. So yeah, I mean, I basically just got on with persistence. Really, I mean, I during my time at this job, I managed to put enough money around to make myself relatively not secure, but like I could buy pro level kit and decent software. Like I run a version of Ableton to teach myself Ableton, and I wasn't gonna, do anything dodgy like buy a crack copy because why when I have money. I have a real version of Logic Pro. I have real Reaper that I paid for my copy of Reaper just in case I needed an ultimate
Yeah.
backup because it's pretty flexible. Loads of little bits of production kit. I got myself a new input. That nice little Yamaha HS5s because I live in. I mean, all the
Yeah.
space you see is literally my living space. I live in a studio flat.
Yeah. That's it. It's all in one room.
Yeah, exactly, man. I mean, the double bed thing, well, that disappeared with the marriage. No need for that. I'm not married anymore. Takes up too much room. Stick a bed in the corner. And I mean, there was a huge portion of my time when there was mattress on floor and television in corner. In like, you getting all the memes. At some point in a guy's life, he's lived like this. Yeah, I have. Yeah, so that was wild.
We all started there.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and I mean, I have good enough rents. I have an internet connection. I have a computer
Yeah.
that works. I don't have
Yeah.
anything less than I need.
Yeah.
At the minute, so I then interacted with someone I've been following sort of for ages, her music, and she said, "Oh, do you want to be accountability buddies?" I'm like, "Oh, this is kind of cool. Is this for exercise?" And she wanted to put out her latest work, and she encouraged me to put my work out into the world,
Yeah.
which is when I'm getting into Bandcamp and things like that. Um, I tried being a teacher for a while, and I just don't want to be in a room full of teenagers. I didn't like it when I was a teenager, and doing it as an adult, and my alternative is dealing with. If I'm going to deal with a lot of stress and not enough money, I want to be doing what I want to be doing. If those are my choices, and it would be different if I was putting at risk a mother and child who are, my partner and child. Yeah, I wouldn't think about it. But
Right.
as it's, I'm single, I can take the risk.
Yeah.
I can take
Yes.
complete failure and falling back into the world of day jobs because fine, the risk is me. I'm
Yeah.
not putting anyone else I know at risk, which is
Yeah.
great. So
Yeah.
no, I mean I have an extensive little guitar collection. The classical is up there on the wall.
Nice.
I treat myself to
Let's
pianos.
see it. Let's bust out the guitars, man. Let's see the guitars, the
Yeah,
collection.
okay, so this is my Alhambra classical with a cutaway. It's apparently
I
quite
love the cutaway. You can get down
yeah,
there.
it does blend a certainness to it. It's got a Fishman system, so it's top notch. It was one of those. It's a professional price tag, but it's a professional instrument, and I'll never need to replace it. All I need to do is clean it and restring it and put a battery in once in a while.
Yeah.
So that's my Alhambra Classical, genuinely made in Spain, the real deal. The kind of guitar that I should probably just put on my back and go and live in the Basque country to go and learn properly.
Heck yeah.
So that's classical. Next up, and they're in rough historical order in terms of the genesis of the instrument. So the next is a really good find I made in Canada Guitars, a 2020-ish Epiphone ES339.
Yeah. My grandpa
Jazz
had a 35.
pretty little thing. I like jazz hollow bodies, and I was after one for the longest time, and found that the ES335s and some of the thicker hollows were just too much,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense. So I spec'd her out, checked her over, and put flat jazz wounds on her because this is my jazz and blues. So there's no squeak, which is
Yeah.
I like the squeaking in classical and acoustic, but I don't like it in the jazz because it ruins jazz when you hear.
Yeah. Play it
Also,
real quick. Play it. Play it.
okay, man, let me just
Let's hear. Yeah.
start on a major minor ninth.
Yep. It's cutting the audio, but I can hear that you know how to play because that's jazzy.
That's nice, man. So, and the previous owner modded this with coil taps.
Yeah, that's a nice
I'm like
guitar.
out to singles, so there's every tone in this thing. And the moment I learned that about it, I stumped out 350 quid for it because it's an absolute bargain.
See, look we're Epiphone brothers, man. Look,
Yeah,
Epiphone
oh, it
brothers
was good enough for John
right there.
Lennon, wasn't it? Oh, nice. Oh, that's an SG. Nice. Is that one of those SGs with just two controls? Oh no, it's the full
Oh, it's
four.
got the three.
Oh, nice. So I've always preferred SGs because they put the toggle in the right place. It's my major complaint with Les Pauls. It sounds so pedantic. Les Paul's a genius, but why is the toggle here? Ah,
I Yeah, my first nice guitar was a Les Paul, so I feel
they
you.
are lovely. I just always worked out that
Yeah, the switch is closer to where your hand plays.
yeah, I think it's the style I play in more than the outlay of the instrument. I'm so used to having the control here that it kind of well, it's a reflex at this point. I'm sure.
Definitely don't want it in the way. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So this is my most recent acquisition, a little Fender Thinline Telecaster that I haven't even taken a leg.
Yeah.
She's a little beaut, so she does the job fine. She's picking up dust from the cake.
There you go. Yeah, man. That it picked it up that time. It starts cutting it like after 2 seconds of you playing. I think it's the microphone. It's Zoom settings or something, whatever. But you can play.
Thank you, man.
You got
Well,
the
I should
in there.
have told you after the years I've done. So this was 250 quid brand new with a case. Like
Yeah,
you can't.
that's what
And
I'm saying. We don't need to spend all the money anymore.
you don't need to spend. I mean, this is the thing. No one will be able to tell that this isn't the £1,000 version.
Don't get me
It's
wrong.
going
I
to cost.
want to spend all the money, but
Oh yeah, yeah. Don't get me wrong. If I won the lottery tomorrow, and the local guitar shop is going to be suffering a serious lack of stock, yeah,
I
like
want
there's no
I want
question
to
about it.
buy, but I can
Yeah,
get a very similar tone, put it in the
yeah,
like that's a whole
yeah.
conversation we could get into, but
Oh yeah. This is one of my very lucky finds. The aforementioned uncle. This is an '87 Japanese Strat
yeah, that's
with
nuts.
all the bells and whistles, Goto tuners, everything. I 5-way, so it's been not modded, but it's been updated. I call her Azure. This was my first proper electric.
It's nice. See, the DAW will give us all the tones we want. It'll make us sound like whatever we want. And it's just like, and the public is used to hearing everything through a DAW these days. So it's like,
Oh
we're not, they're not tripping on if you're using a Marshall stack or not. Like,
yeah. No one knows, and I know there's probably an element of money changing hands, but if someone like Joe Satriani's ear has got to the point where he can't differentiate them, like I'm not going to start mucking around. You know, it's fine. If it works for people who are doing it in a serious capacity, like
yeah,
why do I worry?
yeah.
And this is a guitar made by this guy. It's a Les Paul style thing. It's called the
That's
Deluxe.
not, what is that? Wood? That wood is
It's
crazy.
olive top. It's
Yeah,
an
that's
olive top.
crazy.
It's the only one I have with a slightly awkward toggle, but the toggle is here, as
Really
you can.
nice.
It's got a yeah, so you get strat quack and you get nice yeah. But it's
You
this
get
is
the
a
beefy tone too.
yeah you do. So it's a very versatile and it's lighter than a Les Paul, which is my other problem with Les
Oh
Paul.
yeah, Les Pauls are heavy. I saw him twice when I was a kid, back to back
Yeah,
one.
yeah. So that's another particularly special instrument. One off. There's only one like it in the whole. That is the only one of them. That stays in. That does not get gigged.
Yeah.
This is as my friend I jam with calls it, my "How's your dental surgery going" guitar. So the studio PRS.
Yeah, I had a PRS one. Yep, saw the video.
Yeah,
That's a nice
it's
guitar.
coil pack on a special humbucker. It's got the little hot there, sort of semi humbucking.
You got all the tones.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I need a workhorse thing, it's my special sounds workhorse. Yeah,
Hmm.
and it plays like an absolute dream. Of course it does. It should have done, for the fact that it cost me more than a small car. Uh,
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, I mean everything else is relatively. That is the only sort of like boutique guitar I possess.
Yeah.
Everything else is some kind of workhorse instrument. So this is the PRS Mark Holcomb 7 signature,
Yeah.
um, which is really lovely. The neck is just the lacquering on the neck is so smooth.
Hmm.
So that's it.
Yep.
Again, coil tapping, lovely Seymour Duncan's on it, nice mapling.
Yeah.
Yeah, I jammed this with a friend of mine who's a metalhead. He's a seriously good lead player, so I just chug away and he just moves over the top.
Yeah.
Uh, that was a full price. I traded in a Schecter for it. Not there's anything wrong with it, so I don't throw shade because I know if you're a good enough player, you should be able to get something out of anything. This is with the Squires.
Yep.
This, uh,
Bases.
this is a jazz bass, full active system if you want it at the switch of
Got
the
it
switch.
all, man. Everything
Yeah,
you make music, you got.
yeah, yeah. And then I think this is Indonesian. I think yeah, this is an Indonesian one. Nothing wrong with the Indonesian factories, and there won't be anything wrong with the Chinese ones in a couple of years because they'll get all the new kit that they're coming out with. This is a little Korean
Yep.
eBay.
P
Picked it up
base.
quid off eBay. Went and picked it up in South London. Was in a bit of a state. Had it fixed up. Plays like a dream.
Yeah. That's
For under 300 quid. It's a bass. It's didn't need to change the pickups. Nothing. All stock.
set and
Um,
ready to go.
Yeah, exactly. I have a bit of a, I don't know whether it's an autism or OCD thing, probably an autism thing if I am autistic. Like all my straps match the color of my guitars. Partly though, I just think it looks cool because you're going to
Yeah.
have an at some
Hmm.
point. Right, so I will just throw these clothes on the bed and open this case because this is my gig go-to gigging guitar.
Oh, this is the good one. It's in the case.
This is the so simple and so stupid I can't mess it up guitar. It's an LTD, the ESP equivalent to Squire. If I
LTD.
Yeah, you know
Oh,
ESP,
nice.
played by people like Steph Carpenter.
Yep. LTDs are nice.
So this is their quote unquote low end range. They're not low end guitars at
No.
all. So this has my cheeky strap with nude angels and nude devil ladies on it. But you've got to have something to look fun. So this is bolt simple.
Yep.
It is a 22 fret single cutaway, single humbucker with a coil tap. Every sound comes out of this, and it's so simple that if I'm on stage and I'm worried about someone else's pedal board, or I'm
Yeah.
thinking of an amp I've never used before, I don't make an error. Well, I make less errors. Let's put it that way. There's the errors, you can't. That's what I like about playing live. It's next through. It's fully through. It's perfectly serviceable, lovely little guitar. I'll just pop that
Heck
on the
yeah.
phone. So here's the final bits of the collection. So this is the ukulele.
Yep.
Sadly, my sister from another mister's mother passed some time ago, but I was left in the various paperworks an actual mango wood ukulele. Beautiful little thing.
Those are
Um,
so. I love playing ukuleles.
Ukulele is great. Apparently, I don't know how true it is, but there's lots of Beatles lore. Apparently, at his mansion, George Harrison used to leave ukuleles about so people could just pick them up.
Really?
Yeah, apparently so.
Play. Just to
The
play.
I saw it on the 3-part documentary about his life.
Yeah.
My Sweet Lord, I can't remember what it's called now. And me and an old producer friend of mine who sadly had to sort of pare his life back due to illnesses. We
Yeah.
watched the Quincy documentary. Oh my God, Quincy, what a guy!
Quincy
This
Jones.
is my most recent acquisition, the little vintage brand mandolin, electroacoustic, so I can record it. I've had some samples requested from
Jimmy
it. John,
Page, man. Jimmy Page. He played
yeah,
those.
I when I first had a little stag mandolin back in the day of my first studio, I down tuned it and played Rammstein on it just because it was possible.
That's awesome. I mean, see, you post something like that, now it goes viral.
Well, exactly. Yeah, I know. Because there's so many people who do the metal version of everything. I'm big into bardcore. I got into bardcore big time during the lockdown. So
Yeah.
that's um. So we're down to the last three. He says as if that's any challenge at all. This is a little beauty I picked up online of Peach Guitars, who are a boutique. They're a shop by appointment place in the
Oh,
UK.
nice. Yeah.
This is a Fort Manson Matt Bellamy signature.
Matt Bellum. Oh, that's not the one with the pad on it, is it?
No, they're like
That
three
I
and a half.
that's like the guitar I want. That's my number.
Those, as far as I know from phoning the company, because I wanted to go visit them,
Yeah.
um, they make about, I think they might make 1,000 every 6 months and then
Okay.
put them out. They still make them, but they are upwards of like £4,000.
Yeah, they go used for like a grand.
Yeah, exactly. And then, yeah, the red sparkle editions are the ones with the better padlock in them. They're the cool ones.
I
So
want
this,
that guitar and I want the Ibanez. I had one, the Gem. I had the Gem
oh,
Junior.
I had a gem. Gems are
But I
lovely
want a
things.
gem and I want the one with the splatter paint that's acrylic and it's super heavy. Like it's like a
Oh
$10,000.
yeah, I know the one. I remember when those came out. Those are
Those
yeah.
are the two guitars. So you said Matt Bellamy. I was like, is that the one with the pad? I want.
I was actually lucky enough to meet him late night once on the tube after a gig and say thank you to him.
What?
I, yeah, I met and talked to one of the Gallagher brothers about single coil pickups in one of the Denmark Street shops. So I had this modded with a coil tap. It's got a kill switch. It's a lovely little play. It's very.
Yeah. So see, this is the secret stash that nobody sees. These ones right here.
Guitars that do all the work.
Yeah. The other ones, they're there. And
Look, these are the guitars that look good, and
yeah.
it's the classical in this lot that do all the
Oh,
work.
Matt Bellamy, man, Muse in high school for me.
Oh,
Our
I've
hero that had me in a chokehold was Muse
I've been lucky enough to see him live. It's spectacular.
at the
This is,
O2.
huh?
Did you see him at the O2?
I did, yeah. I've
You
seen.
saw him at the crowd where everyone was jumping, and you saw you were
I
there?
was at my friend took me to the not the album they've just released, but the album before Simulation Theory with the huge skeleton that jumps out. That
So,
was the tour we were on.
but at
That
O2
was
Arena.
yeah. I've also seen Leonard Cohen at the O2 Arena before he passed away.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's there's like how many people? Like 10,000? 20, I don't know. A lot of
Yeah,
people.
I think it's an 8 to 12 capacity, something
Okay.
like that. It's
And
absurdly
they
big.
fill it. They fill it.
Oh, they fill it. Oh yeah, Leonard Cohen filled it. Muse filled it. It was.
Oh my gosh.
This is a recommendation from my aforementioned uncle, an FG 160 made in Japan Yamaha acoustic from the 1970s,
Mm.
200 eBay. It almost, if I hadn't have argued with the customs people, cost me more to get it into the country than to buy it.
See,
Because
see if you could play that. That might get picked up on the mic. It might be loud enough.
she's pretty stable on the tuning.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah. Cutting out a bit, but I mean you could hear it better. Yeah. That's awesome. A little grungy.
yeah.
Drop D.
Yeah, it was. It's yeah. A few of my one of my guitars is always in drop D in case
Heck
one of you.
yeah. That's deep. That yeah, that's the
I was a big Smashing Pumpkins and Pearl Jam fan back in.
yeah, that's the heavier stuff, man.
Oh yeah, I've always yeah. And then where else do I go? I mean, I've still maintained my affection for Placebo.
Mm.
Saw them live at a festival.
You've done it all. You've met them, you've met people.
No, I've not
Tell
met
us
them.
about that tell us about that guitarist that you were saying you DM'd and he responded. One of your
So
favorite.
that's a really cool classical guitarist called Richard Durant. So I found everyone in Britain reacted to the well, not everyone in Britain, but a great deal of people in the media who are active on Twitter when certain people who once ran certain parts of your government decided to own Twitter,
Mhm.
they all jumped ship to Instagram.
Okay.
So I follow my favorite radio DJs to keep up with their shows and things. And
They abandoned their Twitters, yeah.
I mean, I can see why. Don't get me wrong. I have no problem with the principled stand. I just have a problem if your principles are trash. But the principle of not wanting to associate with someone who might destroy the government and lose people's jobs is understandable. Like,
Elon's Twitter.
I admire a principled move, even if I don't agree with it personally, or I just use it because I prefer X
Sure.
Twitter to other things. Um, so yeah, so I found him and said, "Oh, hey, so and so." I just put a comment beneath it, and he private messaged me, and I said, "Oh, do you remember seeing so and so?" And he remembered my mom because my mom was pretty distinctive. She was a short woman, black hair.
Wow. So you hit him up and he responded.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he responded to my comment in a private message. I was quite lucky.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. It was quite. Oh, hello. This is weird. Because I forget that people are sort of accessible now, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people just check DMs more than others. It's just what it
Yeah,
comes
I get
to.
it. Some people are
Yeah.
busier, it's not their thing. And
Yeah.
what needs is my Martin DS10 copy made in Mexico.
Martin. Oh man.
This is all mahogany. She hasn't been used in a while.
See,
But
that's that you okay, yeah, you have the whole gamut of ranges of guitars.
yeah. And I don't need, but do want more. I mean, again, if I won the lottery, there'd be a proper studio at the bottom of my garden, custom built for me, and I'd have a drum kit and all the jack.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but this is a beautiful all mahogany guitar. Only one thing ever went wrong with this. She
Hmm.
stayed in storage for too long, got warm, and I had to take it to a tech because everything that was stuck down inside fell off.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm like, oh no, oh no. And I'm like, I can't fix this. This isn't a simple bit of soldering.
Yeah, the guitars, man. Things.
Yeah, yeah, it's the thing. So those are that's my workhorse selection. But they all get used. It's just when I can play acoustic, I can play acoustic. So this could just slip back in this old fat.
Yeah. No, no, they all get used. See, that's the point is like for me, when things stop getting used, then things start getting sold.
Yeah, that's exactly where I'm through at with a couple of things at the minute. I've got an old amp cabinet, an old head sat there, which I won't pick up because it's heavy as all hell.
Uh,
Um, Found a friend at the guitar shop wants to buy it. It's rare, it's 70s, it's old. He'll give me a fair price for it, and it's gone because I have decent little Black Star amps. You
yeah,
know,
see, there you go.
I have what I need, and then a physical compressor is going because I just haven't used it in about 2 years. Or what's the point of it taking up my desk
Wow.
space when I'm using software? You know,
That we're back to the conversation of in the box or out of the box, right?
I know this is well. I mean, I'm one of these people that judges by results, not by techniques. Like, if
How's
it
it
sounds
sound?
good,
How's it
yeah.
sound?
Right? Like, did it sound good? Did people like it? Did you get something out of making it? Then who cares?
And I'm realizing that the message is way more important than anything else. We
Yeah,
can
I
get
mean,
lost in these details of
oh man, yeah, oh don't,
what are they
oh
saying?
man.
What are they talking about, you know?
It's like you've listened to old recordings of people like Robert Johnston and Sister Rosetta Tharpe, right? They are by no means quality recordings as we would understand them today, but you listen to them and you think this person is making art.
Yes. And
Boom.
my dad is really big on it and he'll show me a lot of old rock music. Still to this day, he got really big into Leonard Skinner like a year or two ago.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
He'll show me their deep cuts and I'm just and he goes the message like what they're talking about like it's just there's heart there's soul. Not saying that everything they're saying is great. Hear what I'm saying,
No,
what I'm not saying, right? But at the
no,
end of
they
the day,
have some potentially dubious of
yeah,
their
like
opinions.
but
Yeah,
it's like the heart behind the message and what they're
yeah,
sharing or the pain, right? And then like
yeah.
through the healing that comes through it too, right?
One of their later albums that I got free on a guitar magazine, which I still have kicking around in my physicals collection somewhere.
Yeah.
There's all this stuff about like you got to stop taking the drugs, they're killing you, and it's very soulful. It's and I've been around enough to see people not die but do enough damage to themselves to I've done some questionable things
Yeah.
like not but I'm amazed I can still do algebra.
Yeah.
The
Yeah. Still got the
potentially
mind about you, right?
yeah, right. So yeah, so that's the little guitar family. I have here that I bought in my early days. This is a little
Yeah.
old school metronome. It sits there as a reminder that I had roots.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
have, yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's no, so I have everything I need. I have somewhere to be. I have something to make, and I can afford the electricity that runs it all. Which is
Yeah.
important. Yeah.
Yeah. You're putting in the
I mean,
time and the effort to make it happen.
exactly. And so that's what I do is I try and do something for my health, something for my spiritual well-being, something for my physical health, and something for my music every day. And at the minute it's also something like just making sure if there is a decent enough day job that I can jump into it and put myself in a really good. But
Yeah.
then I'm still playing the game of well, how much time would I spend at a job versus how much time would I spend making
Yeah.
music?
Yeah. I
I
could see
prefer.
you being like a great like radio host, man. Like
I
that.
used to do that at uni.
Yeah. You see
I
like
used to do.
within the entertainment industry, right? Any of those things to
Yeah.
pass time like until the other things take off or just being involved in the industry like that,
Oh,
right?
this is the thing.
Awesome.
What I'm gonna do once I'm away from this annoying blip which has occurred, which is someone took my phone from a restaurant
Right. Mm-hmm.
and took the SIM out. So they clearly tried something dodgy with it. Obviously, gave it back to me. Oh, I'm sorry, I found your phone. Oh, did you now? Yeah, I'm sure you did. Yeah, yeah, nice try, mate. Yeah, nice try. I've been, I might have only lived another 8 years, but I was raised by an East End girl and an Essex boy, both of whom had tough working class lives. Don't pull it. I might sound well spoken, but I've lived street homeless, mate. Don't try. I've had a three-bedroom house and more money than God, and I've lived on the streets and
Yeah.
worried about what the
Right.
sandwich.
Yep.
Like,
But
please.
you're overcoming though these
Oh
obstacles
yeah, I've
that
lived
are
here for,
hitting you, right?
I'm good. I have nice neighbors and everything. Lovely. One of my lovely neighbors, one of her daughters is a gospel singer.
Mm.
She's at uni, going to study singing at Trinity. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. They're lovely
Good,
people.
good
So
people around you.
yeah, there's only one or two people who are problematic. There's mainly because they're very unwell more than they're actually horrible. Which
That
what can you?
that's good understanding though.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't, the poor lady who's ill. I can't blame her for being ill. It's like blaming me for being dyslexic and bipolar. Well, it's not my fault.
Yeah.
And she's much more ill than any of us realize because you don't hear from her for 6 months, and then she comes out, and her mum has to turn up and cart her off. It's a bit sad, really, if I'm
Yeah.
really honest. It hurts me more than it does annoy me. I was like, oh, I can't help this person with their suffering because I am not a psychiatrist and I'm not a family member who she trusts. You
Mm.
know,
But
you know,
you're
I'm,
like through the relationship, you're getting there to a point where you
yeah.
can.
I mean, we all keep an eye on what she's doing, and if
Yeah.
we see it out, we sort of ask how she is. But she, of course, I, I suspect, although of course I can't make a judgment because I'm not qualified, I suspect she's an unmedicated paranoid schizophrenic, which is of course
A lot
very serious.
going on, right? Yeah. A lot going on.
Yeah, so that's the little family of guitars. Behind you is my media library, my guitar books, my old science textbooks, my physical media. There's lots of stuff in little cupboards and everywhere else. There's my shoes. I
Yeah.
have, and I'm like you. I'm a bit of a. I think the Americans call it sneakerheads. You call it
Yeah.
sneakerheads.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
got some sneakers.
I'm a hat man as well. I have lots of hats.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, so that's me. I treated myself when I was well paid enough and had a day job to a Machine Mark III Micro.
Yeah.
Quality little tool, and it's forced me to organize all my samples so I can tinker away in it. I was treating myself to a nice big screen for
Got the
mixing.
whole sanctuary there, man. You got the whole
Yeah,
thing.
it's my little. I even have a.
It's
I
your
even
cave. That's your cove, man.
It is. It's entire. I mean, and only my dad, a couple of family members, and a few trusted friends have ever seen the place
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I even have a welcome mat that says my favorite place.
Yeah. That's what came to your sanctuary, man. That's your space.
Yeah, that's exactly. It's a lovely way of putting it, Josh. Thank you. Yeah. So I mean, I I am one of these people. My general routine is I get up pretty early, sometimes as early as 4 a.m. Walk around with headphones on, listening to stuff, having a cup of coffee or tea, and then do I do it because I need like twice the amount of time to do life's admin than most people. So I have to give, and once it's all done though, I can get on with whatever I want.
Right.
As if I'm full timing it, which I am at the minute, I am master of my own time. So
Yeah.
if I know a task takes me an hour, I can say, well, in this hour, I will do this. Or if
Yeah.
it takes an hour and a half, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then the rest of my time, once I've done all the things that have to be done, the washing up, yeah, like earlier today to kill time before this, I was just hoovering and washing the floors because, well, someone's got to do it, and I don't have a
Yeah.
housekeeper. Like so someone has to use the Dyson, and it ain't anyone else.
At that point with the studio, man, we got him off the floor soon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm in the best place I've been in for years, and I have less money than I've ever had in my life, except for, well, not less, but I have less money than I did. And
Yeah.
I my
You're
choice
supporting
is
yourself.
happiness, money. Like, well, happiness or your own goals is way more important. I've learned.
Yeah.
I've had all the trappings of material luxury, and they brought me nothing but horror.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. We can get caught up in all that stuff for too long.
Oh yeah, and it's bad for the soul. It's
Yeah.
really bad for the
Yeah.
soul. It's
Yep.
it's not.
It is.
I mean, I'm 5 minutes away in that direction from a lovely local park. You
Yeah.
know, so winter, any
Little
season,
thing.
just go out and take myself out and touch grass, as we say on the internet, and make all the silly jokes. And I often take photos of myself with my hand pressed
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I've seen
And
them. Yeah.
and if I want to go and ground myself, I just go and stand on the grass under a tree outside and have a 0% beer and a week. Fine. And also, if I'm getting frustrated with something creative, I can just go and, I'm 5 or 10 minutes away from a supermarket by walking.
Yeah.
And I live in it. Well, this is although you pay a premium for living in London, although I'm lucky enough to live in it in a way that's relatively cheap,
Yeah.
it's still, I wouldn't move from here even if I had lots and lots of money. I would neither move further in nor further out. I'd just get more space. I'd
Yeah.
use it to buy myself more space. I'd have a three-bedroom house, preferably detached, where I could make as much noise as I pleased. And then I would fill it with equipment and I put my art in a certain, I've got
Yeah.
art on walls, as you can see, and, you know, plays I've been to, concerts, or bits of music related art.
Yeah.
And some things, when the muse isn't there, I'll just watch a DVD or something, or use tech tips on YouTube and learn a thing about production that I didn't know, or, because one of the things I could highly recommend anyone do is you try and learn a thing every day about something you're interested in, be it history, art, politics, geography, whatever, you
Yeah.
know, and then I wake up, I listen to classical music all morning or a bit of popular, depending. I tend to use the BBC channels because they're advert free. I drove my poor ex-wife mad by constantly listening to NPR because there's no adverts. Why are you listening to NPR? Because there's no adverts. Yes, but there's no music. I said, great.
Yeah. You're trying to hear the words.
Music. We're both musicians. There's enough music going on. You know,
There.
and we're lucky enough in Britain to have the BBC, which is great. It does do a good job, and everyone has a go about it. And the
Yeah.
only thing I don't like is that I can't subscribe to it and unsubscribe at will, like Netflix. I can't
Yeah.
just,
Jumping about.
I
Yeah.
can't just say, this month I can afford it or want to watch this
Yeah.
program.
Yeah.
Like I already know that because I'm a bit of a goth who never stopped being a goth, at least some of the time. Now if I'm going out to the Europe's premier golf pub tomorrow night with a friend of mine.
Nice.
Um, yeah, so it's an excuse for me to put nail polish and makeup on again and just dance around like an idiot. It's great. Like I love my life. I made this life, and it's awesome. So and that's all good. And the people there, and the nice thing about it is no one cares that you're a guy dressed in
Yep.
what is normally and girly. No one
Yeah.
cares about that.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm
Here.
aware in many ways America's a lot more conservative than Britain. Um,
Some stores.
yeah, but it's not.
It's
But
the
I'm
where you walk into these days. You never
it's
know.
where you are and who you're with as well that matters. And this is one of those cool places. Yeah, so I mean, I've got a little project base on the go that I bought from a friend for 20 quid that I'm sticking some new pickups in that I might donate to my old producer friend so he's got a bass to use whilst he's well, because it's something I don't need, but
Yeah.
it's surplus to the needs of the huge collection of things I've just shown you. You know, I
Have it
it's
all. Let's see the project base.
Yeah, it's and I treated myself to a GeForce Now subscription because I sold my PlayStation off. So I bought myself a gaming production keyboard, which it lights up and it matches my screensaver. So
Yep.
I'm in Cyberpunk Kid heaven when I turn the lights off.
Yeah.
Sister had to talk me out of buying a lava lamp
A
to,
lot.
to go because I'm like, yeah, but the lava lamp kind of finishes it off. And she's like, do you know how hot those get? I said, yeah. Where are you going to put it? Well, here, that's wood. Can't put it there. It'll burn your flat down. Oh,
Oh my
here, that's
god.
so yeah. And I just wasn't thinking. All I was thinking was cool lights.
Yeah.
So I've compromised with I will eventually get a funky light bulb for my little night light.
Funny.
And one of those, one of those ones you control on your phone and it changes
Oh
color.
yeah. No, I have.
Yeah,
Yep. I can control the LED lights in my room.
that's cool. Yeah, my first producer, and now one of my best friends, has that in his. You go into his room and like, let's put on the jazz, and he puts on the jazz lighting.
Yeah.
Jazz.
My dad the other night, he goes, "Did you just turn off on those lights from your phone?" And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "What? How?" He didn't. Amazes him. 60-year-old
Yeah.
man. Just what?
Yeah, my dad's 69, and I had to go through this quite painful month period when I gave him a smartphone
Ah,
because he run all of a sudden, and he's like, how do I text? Oh God. I love my dad to bits, like, but it is frustrating when you're dealing with someone who's retired and they've stopped having to connect with the world in the ordinary ways.
I've been teaching my dad how to post content regularly on Instagram, and then at one point I was teaching him how to edit for the studio because he runs that account, and I'm just like, eventually I just come to points where I'm just like, I'll just do it. I'll just do it. Like, because it's just hard to teach. And it's not that he can't learn. It's just he goes, well, the cuts, like it's so quick, and how do you and I'm just like, it's like, I got it, bro. Like, I'll do it. Like,
I mean,
I'll shoot and edit your content. You just and collab with you, you post it.
yeah, it's mad, man. It's absolutely bonkers.
It's a
Yeah,
lot.
so I have everything I need. I'm not going to be made homeless. All of the risks that I've taken in life have led me to a point where I have the risks I can take now are long term and creative as opposed to short term and survival,
Mm.
which is a very good place to be. I mean, I'm very much a bedroom producer, but I have enough. I was asking Schmidty
That's
and a
where it
couple of
starts. Like,
exactly, man. It's where I've always been. I
look at
know.
how I didn't know how I was gonna get here, but eventually, you know,
Yeah, just keep going and never stop. I mean, it's one of the sad things about Lovely Verity. I used to buy her merch and she used to sign it, and I remember I can't access it now because it requires step ladders and moving
yeah,
this whole desk. It's not happening. But she wrote "Keep Going" on one of the CDs she I bought from her. I'm like, oh, and she
Mhm.
stopped. You know,
It's sad, right, that these things happen, but
oh,
the
very,
they don't
but
deter us from doing what we're doing.
no, no, no. And I mean, I keep in touch with her husband here and there and send him a message because he's still an active producer. And
Yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to after I've solved this annoying identity theft problem, which thankfully has not been
Yeah,
financially.
I hope you get through that, man.
Yeah, it's a case of waiting for bank cards and a new SIM. It's just
Okay. Okay.
the postal service being a bit of a problem more than anything else. The
Okay.
banks have done their jobs, the phone company have done their jobs,
Yeah.
and it's just a question of, oh, is it coming in the post? No, no. Um, and then I can get my iCloud back, which is great. And then once I've got my iCloud email back and my general phone number, everything's hunky dory, really. And I can just continue from there. And I've got to do boring admin tasks like copy all of my passwords out of my computer for security reasons, which I don't want to do, but there will be ample amounts of music on in the background whilst I spend half a day doing it.
Right? I mean, hey, you gotta the music, right? You gotta back it up. I was gonna say, do you have any like do you want to tell the people about anything you got coming, what's coming next?
Yeah, I can say there are things in the works. So I'm currently collaborating with a lovely woman called Angel. She's doing the singing for some trip hop I'm making.
Okay.
She does Band Lab. I'm encouraging her to get into Bandcamp so we can do a little
Yep.
contract. We both release it separately, so we don't have to do the whole crossing money thing. So if
Yep.
it sells on hers and we promote each other, whoever sells what keeps it, and we'll go from there. Because
Yep.
I'm not one of these people that's going to say, well, I did the bulk of the production and the guitar playing, 75-25. No, two
Yeah.
people, done. I'm not going to play around with stuff like that.
Mhm.
Friends of infringement and business. So that's coming up. There is something else, but one of the collaborators has had to go underground because of I think it's a private life thing that I'm sort of aware of but won't say.
Yeah.
So they'll resurface. So there's some cyberpunk stuff, I hope. Definitely a trip hop track or two coming, which is
Okay.
great. And then there's me continuously working on my fourth album, which I've been collecting ambient samples for, and I've picked up little bits and bobs, and I've worked through my own sample library a bit, like my self-created loops and things. And
Oh,
then there's making sure I can use the UAD plugins I bought to get
oh,
a good sound, and because I got the Avalon, because I've always wanted an Avalon, but I've never had enough thousands of pounds for one.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
So you got it.
Yeah, I've got the UAD suite. I got isotopes so I can do my own mastering, at least to a reasonable degree.
You've really
Um,
invested then lately.
oh yeah. This is. I mean, even if all it is a thing that pays half my bills and I have to work part time for the rest of forever, that's what I'll do
Yeah.
because it is. I learned a really cool thing recently called ikigai, which is Japanese for your why, your raison d'être, as the French would say, which is a
Right.
cool. So yeah, so there's my forthcoming album, which is the fourth one. It's going to be called Red Hair Blue Room. I haven't. I've got about 8 demos or bits and ideas in various folders on my phone and on my computer. I'll probably have a full demo version in the next 6 months that I'm happy enough with, and then I'll start polishing things and going with my other collaborators. Because I have a collaborator I use as a voice actress, and I'll
Wow.
probably put the singers I know because I don't trust my singing voice, even though I can kind of hold a tune. So I
Oh
tend to
yeah,
make it.
for
If I
sure.
can put in singers, I will. And if
Yeah.
something else comes along, I'll announce it publicly. I'm available mostly on Twitter at
Yep.
Distance Left. You can
Yep.
plug Distance Left into Bandcamp or SoundCloud. You can find me there. I have stuff that I'm not legally allowed to release that I've run past friends in London who have said, "Oh, you can't clear the third sample." I'm like, "I know, but this is good."
Oh,
And I'm
yeah,
like, but then again, I don't want to get sued by the BBC and David Attenborough because then I'd never have any kind of career at all,
yeah,
right? So let's not go be going. It's a joke me and my first producer came up with that we get sued by Nile Rodgers if we use
yeah.
his bass lines. But perhaps not. Perhaps no. Perhaps we don't want to annoy Nile Rodgers. He's a bit too. And anyway, why would you want to? He seems to be such a great guy. So yeah, so the upcoming thing is I hope a cyberpunk project, a probable trip hop single on my fourth album, all of which I will make noise about on Twitter at the time.
Oh, yes, definitely. Please let us
Under the
know.
name Distance Left.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Unfortunately, someone is camping on at Distance Left on Instagram, so it's Distance Left Music with a K on Instagram.
Oh,
Yeah,
yep.
you
Yeah.
message them see if they're one of those people that sells off. No reply.
Dang, that's okay. Hey, I'm still underscore because I can't get my original account name back on Instagram, so I have the underscore. So
Yes, there's always
I just
somewhere
don't
you
want to
can.
be the Josh Crespo. It feels pretentious.
Yeah, it's just like I wouldn't call myself the Simon. It sounded a bit
The
bonkers.
Yeah, I
Weird
know.
or official or something. Like, nah, man, it's
Yeah,
not.
they
I
nuked
mean,
my account during COVID, so I don't know.
oh, COVID was such a mess, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
I'm
but
not.
yeah, we'll definitely stay on a little bit after the call for sure. There's
Yeah,
some
cool.
taking a
Yeah,
long
but
time,
please
but
come find me. Distance
yeah,
Left, Bandcamp,
it's
SoundCloud.
at distance left music with a K.
Yes, on Instagram at Distance Left on X and Distance Left on Bandcamp and SoundCloud.
Okay, distance left. So not music.
No, only music with a K on Instagram. That was my
Got it.
workaround.
Gotcha. Okay, so now they know where to find you. They know how to
Yeah,
find everything. Distance left music with the K on
yeah,
Instagram, distance left on Twitter, and everywhere else.
yeah.
Okay, because there's just a little bit of distance left.
Yeah. I often get confused with the Blur song of great fame.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what they do have a few, right? Now I got to go back and listen to Blur so I can hear the
Yeah,
reference.
I know. I regularly go through and yeah, the bands of our
Okay.
youth.
Well, I appreciate you, man. We're gonna get out of here, but I'll keep talking. We'll keep talking after this. But thank you for everyone for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. This is Josh Talks. Yeah, the distance left interview right here. All right, thanks, bro. See you around.